Thank you very much, Alex. Join Unite Community. I joined, and it does make a difference. You get to take part in a union and actually be part of one of the biggest civil kind of society movements in the world. Without any further ado, our first speaker is Frrancesca Martinez, who is a comedian, award-winning comedian, if that, and also the organiser of the WOW petition, which I believe just passed
75,000 signatures.
75,000 signatures.
I'm here today because I think everyone in this room feels that our basic rights are under attack. I think it's no longer about whether you are interested in politics or not. Politics is life. And if people out there think they're not political, they actually are being very political because they're propping up the status quo and ensuring nothing will ever change. So I think it's really important to start by saying that cynicism must be fought. Cynicism merely serves those in power. And I think those in power want us to feel helpless. They want us to feel like there's no alternative. There is. Nothing on this planet is the same forever. So I think it's really important that we've come here today and we've acknowledged that we must do something. I think we all are aware that things are looking shit right now. Our basic rights are under attack. 500,000 people are using food banks, the first time since the Second World War. This is the 7th richest country in the world. It's just unbelievable. Also, a third of disabled people are living in poverty. A sixth of children in the UK live in poverty. £20 billion is being cut from the NHS. Ironically, the same amount of money which has been spent on an illegal war in Iraq and Afghanistan. There's always money for wars. Isn't that funny? They always find money for wars. So I think we have to really challenge this right-wing rhetoric that there is no money. There totally is money. As I said, this is the 7th richest country in the world. In 2012, city bankers in London alone received £14 billion in bonuses. This is more than the entire disability benefit bill. Also, only 1 in 4 UK companies pay tax. We basically have a corporate welfare system in place, which is meaning that the elite get off scot-free. They don't contribute to this country or the services, and the poor are being devastated by cuts. And I think, politicians kind of announce these cuts with really brave voices, don't they? Like, we're so sorry about the cuts. They're not fucking sorry, they love it. It's the perfect excuse. They're bringing in policies that Thatcher wouldn't even dream of. When you trust Thatcher, you're fucked. And so basically, I think they're using this global crisis to implement a neoliberal agenda. And that agenda is going to serve the elite and going to increase inequality and environmental destruction around the world. And I think it's very ironic that those in power have created this scoundrel rhetoric. Anyone on welfare is a scoundrel. Let me just remind you that the cabinet are 2/3 millionaires with a combined wealth of £70 million, and over half of our MPs were implicated in the expenses scandal. These are people at the top scamming the system, and they had the arrogance to judge people at the bottom who genuinely need help as lazy scoundrels. This is again, we've got to challenge it because the corporate-led media is pushing out this propaganda, and it's classic divide and rule. You know, we're not in this mess because of students or because of disabled people or jobless people. We're in this mess because a corporate elite was so fucking greedy that they took everything, and of course there's no money. You know why there's no money? Because they don't want to share any of it. They basically want to, they were very happy to keep the profit, but now they want to share the deficit. Incredibly generous, but no thanks. Also, I just want to go on to basically, we need to unite. We can't allow them to divide us. We must keep our eyes on the real enemy. And I think the enemy is the system that we live in. I think our economic system is not only destroying lives, it's destroying our planet. I don't know how many of you are aware of the latest findings, but scientists are predicting that a third of all life forms could be wiped out within 50 years. This is in our lifetime. It's no longer like our grandchildren's life, it's our life. And I, for one, am quite worried about this because I live on the planet. So I think the fundamental issue is that our system is one of economic perpetual growth. But the trouble is that growth is destroying the very conditions we survive on. And there's a fundamental conflict between economic growth and environmental sustainability. So I'd like to propose an alternative. I think we need to stop aiming for increased GDP, and we need to start listening to economists who are proposing a different model, one called steady state. And this basically means the economy doesn't grow, it has different aims. And those aims are, first of all, it respects our finite resources, because that's a fact. However much you want to ignore it, we have finite resources. It also aims for sustainable scale, fair distribution of wealth, renationalisation, efficient allocation of resources, massive reduction in inequality. Because when you have growth at the centre of your model, you can always dangle it because you don't have to redistribute wealth. Because you can say, oh, you can get rich if you just work harder. You know, the classic trickle-down effect, which we all know is bollocks. And also at its core is human well-being. It wants to create a world where human happiness is factored into the equation, because the fact is GDP has no bearing on happiness. We're no happier now than we were in the 1960s, despite our GDP increasing by huge amounts. So I just want to say, you know, imagine if we were aliens living on another planet and we saw our planet and we just went, they're mad, they're destroying the only habitable planet in the universe in pursuit of fucking GDP. You know, it's absolutely crazy. Like, what the fuck is GDP anyway? It's a theoretical thing. You know, I want to protect, like, the world we live in, and I want to create a world where people aren't judged on their economic viability. That's a disgusting idea that we've kind of had our humanity hijacked by money and by kind of judgments made on income and class and ability. You know, every human being on this planet wants the same thing. You know, we want a free education system. We want a free and fair healthcare system. We want cheap and very economically viable public services. These ideas are not radical. They are common sense. You know, a meeting like this will be called radical and lefty and crazy. We're not the crazy ones, they are. They are destroying the planet and implementing disgusting policies which are killing people. So I would like to get away from labels such as left and right and concentrate on building a movement that has morality and humanity and basic common sense at its core. And I'd like to end by saying, you know, profit isn't sacred, human well-being and this bit of rock in space is sacred. Thank you.